It was a cold winter afternoon. Snowflakes floated gently against the café's wide glass windows, blurring the world outside into a canvas of white. Inside, the warm glow of amber lamps softened the corners of the small coffee shop, wrapping it in a comfort that contrasted the icy winds raging beyond the doors. At a corner table, away from the noise of the counter and the chatter of young couples, sat a man in a dark suit and scarf. His hands were folded, his eyes fixed on the wooden table, but his mind was far away, lost in memories he rarely allowed himself to revisit. This was Alexander Cole, a man whose name echoed in the business world, a CEO worth millions, known for his empire of companies and ruthless determination. Yet at this moment, he did not look powerful. He looked lonely. Alexander had once been a man full of light. Years ago, before his world turned gray, he had a wife who laughed like springtime, who carried sunshine in her voice, and with whom he had dreamed of building a family. But fate is merciless. An illness had claimed her too soon, leaving Alexander a widower at the height of his success. Money had filled his bank accounts, but his home was empty. Awards decorated his office walls, but his heart was hollow. He avoided people, avoided emotions, avoided connections. Business was safer. Numbers never left you. Numbers never died. That afternoon, as he stirred a coffee he had no intention of drinking, his thoughts drifted back again to the silence of his penthouse, the bed that felt too large, the kitchen where no laughter lingered anymore. And that's when he heard it, a soft, hesitant voice. "Can I sit here?" He looked up, almost startled, and his gaze met the curious eyes of a little girl standing beside his table. She couldn't have been more than 6 or 7. Her cheeks were pink from the cold, her small hands clutched a worn teddy bear, and atop her head sat a bright pink knitted beanie with a pom-pom that seemed too cheerful for the weather outside. She looked at him not with fear, but with a kind of innocent boldness that only children possess, as if she belonged in every room she walked into. Alexander blinked, his first instinct to say no. He wasn't used to company, let alone from children. But something in her wide eyes held him still. He cleared his throat, trying to sound distant. "This seat is taken," he muttered. The little girl tilted her head, unconvinced. "No, it's not," she said softly, sliding onto the chair across from him before he could protest. She placed her teddy bear carefully on the table, as though introducing him to a friend. "This is Mr. Buttons," she explained with pride. "He likes hot chocolate." Alexander stared at her, half in disbelief. Who was this child? Where were her parents? And why did she think she could just sit at a stranger's table? He opened his mouth to send her away, but something about the fragility in her tiny frame stopped him. He noticed then the hospital bracelet peeking from beneath the sleeve of her blue dress. His chest tightened. "You shouldn't be talking to strangers," he said finally, his voice low but not unkind. She smiled a little, as if she'd heard that many times before. "You don't feel like a stranger," she said. "You feel like someone who's sad. And sad people aren't scary." The words landed heavier than he expected. Alexander leaned back, studying her. Children weren't supposed to read people this easily. Yet this one had looked right through the armor he wore every day. "What's your name?" he asked, surprising even himself. "Lily," she answered instantly, hugging her teddy closer. "What's yours?" He hesitated, then replied, "Alexander." "That's a strong name," she said thoughtfully. "Like a king." For the first time in what felt like years, Alexander almost smiled. It was faint, fleeting, but it reached his eyes before he caught himself. He shook his head, trying to mask it. "And why are you here alone, Lily? Where are your parents?" Her smile wavered. She looked down at Mr. Buttons, as though gathering courage. "Mommy's at the hospital. She's sick. And Daddy, he went away." Something inside Alexander cracked, an old wound aching with fresh pain. He recognized that tone, the quiet bravery of a child holding back tears. It mirrored the silence he had carried since his wife's death. Before he could respond, the café door opened, and a nurse in scrubs rushed in, scanning the tables. Her eyes landed on Lily, relief washing over her face. "Lily. There you are, I told you not to wander." Lily shrank a little in her chair but didn't move. "I just wanted to sit with him," she said softly, pointing at Alexander. The nurse looked apologetically at him. "I'm so sorry, sir." She's been in and out of treatments and sometimes she slips away to, well, find company. Her voice lowered. She doesn't have many friends. Alexander nodded slowly, words caught in his throat. The nurse gently touched Lily's shoulder. Come on, sweetheart. We have to get back. But Lily looked up at Alexander again, her eyes pleading. Can I come sit with you again? Just for a little while. He should have said no. He should have walked away, closed the door before it opened further. But the truth was, for the first time in years, he didn't want to be alone. Yes, he heard himself say. You can.